Listen up.
Hi, Lucy. Hi, Kel.
The Lucy and Kel podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast for a Wednesday. It is a very hello to Lucy.
Hi.
A very hello to Casey.
Hey.
Just a word of warning. It is Wednesday, April the 1st, that we are recording this podcast. However, it is being launched this afternoon, which means no April foolery allowed.
Oh.
Because we are
It's all
past
over, Red
the
Rover.
midday finish line.
Boo, 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 boo.
I don't know what the rules are. Like, what happens if you April Fool somebody after lunchtime?
You're the fool.
Are you
Yes.
cursed in some way?
You're cursed and your firstborn child is a fool too. No,
There you go.
you're the fool. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. April Fools after 12, shame on everyone. If you say it quick enough and confident enough, anything sounds good.
Sounds pretty
Believe
good.
everything Lucy says.
So
Thank you.
we're not going to fool you today on the podcast.
No.
This is absolutely me and absolutely Lucy and absolutely Casey. A couple other things that we need to touch on. Lucy's not yet wearing rabbit ears. If you listened to the podcast yesterday, her one dream was to wear rabbit ears, and that hasn't happened yet. So I'm just wondering how that's going.
Well, it's not going.
Close enough, you're in a leopard print top.
Do you feel like the leopard when you're wearing leopard print? Do you associate yourself with leopard-like features?
No,
Oh.
but I'm wearing an outfit today, and I've had so many people stop me, so I'm feeling loved. Like all the women out in the office stopped me. They said I'm giving iconic 90s boss woman. I've got barrel leg jeans, I've got stilettos, I've got a big leopard print top, I've got big hair, I've got big gold earrings. They're like, it's 90s boss woman.
I love
and I
it.
said, am I nice? They said, yes, but you can turn if you need to.
Yes.
And I said, this is great, girls. It was excellent. So I'm feeling really good.
But that's a leopard.
That's
They're
leopard for you, baby.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like a leopard when you're wearing leopard print. That's not the feeling you're going for.
No, but do I feel sleek? Do I feel powerful?
All right?
Yes, but I don't feel like a leopard.
So how do you think you're going to feel if you do indeed end up wearing bunny rabbit ears between now and tomorrow?
Cutesy.
Cute. Okay.
Very demure, very cutesy.
Cutesy.
Are bunny rabbits cute?
They're the cutest. Have
They're
you not seen
also-
the ones with the floppy ears?
Yes,
The cartoon ones, they're fabulous.
they're fabulous. The real ones,
You can just sit
Have
down.
you
No,
seen-
just sit down, you. You don't like anything.
Hey.
Bunnies are the cutest.
If you
they
had
don't
to-
have myxomatosis.
Well-
Why are you both being like this? Bunnies are beautiful.
if you had to have an animal's ears, Casey, what animal's ears would you have?
The one that doesn't have any ears, like a dolphin or something.
That's a great question. Do animals not have ears?
I would
Maybe
have
the
the-
dolphin. Does dolphin have ears?
Yeah, they have those tiny pinpricks. Yeah, they don't have like big, like flappy ears, but they
Yeah.
do have hearing and sonar.
This is what podcasting is all about. So
Correct.
you're saying that dolphins have tiny holes in the side of their head are their ears? I'm not saying you're wrong. And now we're going to Google that and just to make sure.
They have a small ear hole opening on both sides of their head, which they use to hear sounds when they're above the water.
Yep.
That's what
There
you'd
is
have.
no
That's what I want.
scientific consensus to how dolphins hear underwater, but they think the jawbone conducts sound to the inner ear. So they do have ears, like I said, tiny pinprick ears.
Excellent. I
You
guess
guys going
birds.
to understand. I know everything.
I guess birds would have that too, right?
Yeah. Our birds have little teeny pinprick ears.
Yeah, because you don't see birds with ears.
No. Oh my gosh. Imagine they just had big ears and just flapped.
Super cute.
That would have saved God so much
Yeah.
more resources instead of
So-
wings.
Yeah.
So their ears
In your
are
face, God,
actually their
yeah.
wings, but also enable them to hear, thus
Dude.
actually completing the phrase, two birds with one stone.
Yes. Oh my god.
Genius.
Oh
We're
my
so
God.
smart.
Genius.
Yeah.
So
Well,
smart.
there you go.
The other thing we have to address, and again, looking forward to the bunny ears if you get them. On the show today, we address the fact that in real time, if you're listening to this today, tomorrow, 4 human beings will be launched into space
Yeah.
to travel around the dark side of the moon,
Yeah.
which, and I've said this on the show today, my excitement at the start of the week has paled in comparison to Lucy's building excitement for the launch tomorrow.
Yeah.
Your excitement has been building across the week for this space launch. The more you learn about it, the more excited you are.
Yep.
The conversation today, which you'll hear later on, is that they're all allowed to bring one thing
Yep.
into space.
I had such fun finding out what they were going to take.
You said if you could, you'd turn it into a side hustle and bring a Polaroid camera into space.
Yes, I
and
would.
taking photos of the moon.
Yep.
100 photos of the moon.
Correct.
Selling them all for $1,000 each.
Correct. I make $100,000 on my return to Earth.
That's what Lucy would do. I asked the question, would a Polaroid camera work in space? Because based on the fact it's a chemical reaction. Would you like to know the answer?
I already Googled it.
Oh,
but
did you?
Go ahead.
The answer is kind of yes. Kind of yes. Kind of yes.
Kind of no.
The problem being that in space it's very cold, so the camera would have to be able, the batteries would have to be able to not freeze, and the mechanisms inside the camera. The other thing, which I found
I'm not
fascinating...
taking it onto the moon. It's in the space shuttle, and they're all warm enough in there.
That's true.
I think it's pretty cold in the space
They've got
shuttle
jumpers
as well.
on and stuff.
Put a jump on the Polaroid.
They got a space jumper, do they?
I'm sure they do. They don't look cold on the
The other
movies.
thing we need to, and I found this interesting, there's not a lot of light in space, so it'd be hard for the camera to pick up a lot of stuff. I know we think, well, the sun's out there. Surely that's lighting up the entire universe.
You see movies when they look through the portal and they look back at Earth and they see a beautiful planet. They'll see Earth. I'm taking photos of Earth.
Oh, now we're taking photos of Earth because I thought you were taking photos of the dark side of the moon.
Well, if
where
that's
there
not
is
going
no
to,
light.
I'm ready to pivot. If I can't take photos of the dark side of the moon, I'll take photos of Earth. I'll take selfies of me.
I was literally thinking, babe,
With
be
the
honest.
Earth in the background.
All the photos are just going to be your face.
Oh, yeah.
Pouting,
and
how
totally
my eyelashes.
pouting like that.
100%.
And peace sign.
Yep. Checking
then
if your lip line is
this
right.
all
And the Earth in
went-
the background. But you know what? I'm still selling them at $1,000.
This scenario all went very well for another group of ladies recently going up into space. I'm sure it's going to go fine for you.
Correct.
Yeah, I know, right?
When you go to space.
Wasn't good for Katy Perry, was it?
Would you, because of the majesty of going into space and orbiting around the moon and taking your 100 photos with your Polaroid camera,
Yeah.
would you just have them eject out of the camera and float around the space shuttle and then pick them up later?
Yep.
Or are you organising them as you go?
I'm taking a lot of them and letting them float. Then I'm taking a selfie of me with floating Polaroids all around my head.
How much are you charging for that?
That's the killer photo.
Yeah.
And then I collect them all up. But that one of photos around my face, gee, man.
You're a genius.
I'm a genius.
You are a genius. Casey, with the whole bird ears thing, genius. The real question people need to ask themselves today, listening to the podcast, have they actually heard anything? Really? Or is it nothing at all?
The Lucy and Kel podcast.
I was thinking about this era we live in where it's tricky and it's tough and it's expensive and it's a little dark and the news is a bit wild and you go on the internet and it's just people being awful 24/7 every which way. And I was thinking about how those small acts of love that people now do literally seem to mean more than they ever have before. Casey was telling me the other day she went to a petrol station and the guy behind the counter gave her a couple of free drinks. Because he just was like, you know what, on me. Lydia, who we work with, Lydia went to go get some petrol the other day. A guy paid for it. He went, no, it's on me. It's times are tough. He obviously has the capacity to bless others. Went, I got it. You hear of people going through like a Macca's and then they get up to the window and they say, car in front of you paid. And these little tiny acts of love, I think, are just so important at the moment because, like I said, it is a really tough time in life. And how lovely when people just reach out and do something really, really nice. I had some lovely acts of love recently. I spoke about this stupid shopping bag I wanted on air, and then suddenly, listeners out of the blue getting me the shopping bag. It was $2, but it meant the world. And now every time I use them, I'm like, oh, I feel so loved that people cared enough to get me this ridiculous hot cross bun-shaped shopping bag.
Historically, with Lucy and Kel, we'll mention things just in passing, not even thinking that they're a thing, and then the Light family will step up and either gift us with something or find the connection that we're looking for without us even asking, and we
it's
feel very loved.
beautiful. I love these little tiny small random acts of love, just acts of kindness, sacrificial love, but in an everyday story. Have you got any you can think of that people have done for you?
Well, not recently, other than the Ugg boots that you purchased me the other day, which I genuinely am blown away that you just thought of me and bought me Ugg boots. I know that's a weird thing to say, but they came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting them, and they're a delightful purchase, and I really like them. But in general, I think we all have a story. I think a lot of it is just really simple little things like paying for petrol, or maybe somebody spotting you a coffee, or it could be someone. A lot of it, you know what? A lot of the good energy with a simple act of kindness can happen out on the road.
Yep.
Where you're letting people in.
Yep.
Where you're not getting immediately angry at somebody because they may not have indicated as early as you'd like.
Yep.
Or they're driving a kilometre slower than you feel like they should be. Just giving everyone a little bit of grace behind the wheel.
It's
If
a
we could
really
all
easy way
show
to
that
do
little
that.
bit of act of love behind the wheel, that'd be amazing.
But I think there's times in our lives where we remember the ones that stick out. I remember when I was in my very early 20s, I was working full-time as a muso. Back in the day, life was a lot different then. And I remember just struggling for money. And in part passing had mentioned it to a friend. I think they'd invited me to do something. I was like, oh, I can't do it at the moment. And then I remember getting home that night and she had left on my doorstep this huge bag of shopping, pasta, mince, sauces, and I was young and broke, and it just meant that I could cook a big healthy meal that would last me a couple of days because I was just a broke muso. And to this day, and I remember ringing her going, was this you? And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she wouldn't, to this day, won't ever admit that. But I was like, you're the only person who knew that I had $0 to my name. And it was the loveliest, kindest, little tiny random act of just that sacrificial love that, for me, that's what Easter's actually all about. But we'll get to that in just a moment. But I want to know that one moment you can remember. For Casey, the last week, it was free drinks at a servo. For Lydia, it was petrol. For me, it was pasta in my 20s. What was that little small act of love that you remember to this day that really changed something for you internally? I'd love, love, love to hear your stories this Easter season. William said, look, I've gone and paid for a patient's medication.
Oh, wow.
William, that's lovely.
Well
There
done.
must have been a reason there. That's excellent. Fiona thinks that we're playing Coldplay this morning. That's an act of love to her. Yeah, she
Coldplay,
likes that
Paradise,
one.
okay,
Love
good.
it. On the phone, Deb in Croydon. Hello, Deb. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Deb, you have a memory. It's one of these acts of love that has stayed with you for decades. What happened, Deb?
Back in the 90s, I was a young mum that was sole parenting and probably similar to you, Lucy, struggling to make ends meet, pay the bills and at the time pay the rent. At one point, I was incredibly short of the rent I needed and wasn't sure how I was going to pay that. So, I'd gone off for the day to do whatever I was doing and came home and got the mail out of the letterbox expecting more utility bills, etc., and instead found an envelope in the letterbox with $600 in it to pay the rent.
Oh.
And to this day, I have no idea who paid that.
Isn't that amazing? Deb.
Of course that one would stay with you, hey?
Yeah, well and truly.
Mike, good morning.
Good morning.
You perpetrated a small act of love?
I did. About 2020, we just had our first child. We were doing pretty tough. We had a cruddy old car and went to the IGA and just got a few bits and pieces. We need nappies and things like that. And the lady in front of us, her card kept on declining. So tap, decline. I thought, you know what, I'll do this. Just said stand aside and I tapped the card. She appreciated it. Got into the car park of my sort of broken down car and I look over and she got into a $200,000 Mercedes S-Class.
No.
Listen, everyone deserves to be blessed.
Like, part of me is like, oh, I would have driven after her and gone, give me my money back.
The Lucy and Kel podcast. You're going to love this next bit. Oh, spoiler alert.
Having a conversation with producer Casey just before Lucy turned up into the studio. Casey and I often catch up first thing in the morning. Chat the chat, see what's what. And as Casey came into the studio this morning, she called me on the laptop. She said, what you watching? And I said, well, Casey, I'm watching the latest trailer to the new live-action He-Man movie. Because that's something I do. He-Man, of course, is getting a new movie where grown-ups are dressing up as He-Man characters and playing He-Man the movie. And, of course, Casey, who's only 23, said, what's a He-Man?
Oh, no.
And I was like, that's a great question. Because I wasn't the hugest fan of He-Man growing up.
I loved him.
I know we're going to get to that. Just keep the powder dry.
Sorry,
because I know you're very passionate
Be quiet.
about the connected universe of He-Man and
She-Ra.
another family member.
Yep.
So she said, what's a He-Man? And I said, well, He-Man, he's like a guy and he's like a prince, isn't he? And then he has a sword and he turns into a muscly man and he has the powers of the universe or the castle Grayskull or something.
Yeah.
Then I thought to myself, hang on, it's a cartoon of the 80s.
Yeah.
So normally, in the theme of the cartoon, they would explain what He-Man is. Back in the 80s, most theme songs were just explaining to you.
He
what
is this. Yeah, he is.
So
yeah.
I went to the YouTubes.
Very
and
true.
Sure enough, because I realised that the cartoons we watch are very hard to explain. So for Casey's question, what's a He-Man? Here's what a He-Man is, everybody.
Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, by the power of Grayskull.
That's a He-Man, Casey.
Yeah.
Fabulous secrets were revealed to him
Yes, and he
the
also
day he held aloft his magic sword.
he also rode a green
He had Cringer.
tiger called Cringer, who would turn into Battle Cat.
And I said to her, like, Cringer was a scaredy cat until he raised his magic sword and then he turned into Cringer the Battle Cat.
Yes, he was great. And he had orange stripes.
And Casey's like, that sounds like a really silly cartoon. I said it was. It's silly business, He-Man. And I said, but don't say it out loud because Lucy's favourite cartoon of all time is adjacent to He-Man.
Yeah.
And that is She-Ra. And she goes, what's a She-Ra? And I said, great question.
But also, I just have to be specific.
Yeah.
It's 80s She-Ra. It's not modern She-Ra because the reboot is not my vibe. The look of the cartoon.
Thanks to the 80s cartoon style, She-Ra's narrative is inside the She-Ra theme song. So if you want to know about She-Ra, it's kind of exactly the same as He-Man, except He-Man's got a cat. She-Ra has
a unicorn.
A unicorn. And, of course...
Fabulous secrets were revealed to me the day I held aloft my sword and said, "For the honor of Grayskull."
So, again, fabulous secrets were revealed to her, but it's for the honour of Grayskull, not the power of Grayskull.
Yeah.
And, of course, she has a unicorn and not a cat. Simple. She-Ra.
Yeah, and she was kidnapped as a baby and raised by the baddies. Just so you know, that's why.
If you want extra detail on the lore of the He-Man universe and the She-Ra universe, go straight to Lucy.
Yeah.
She's a huge
Crystal
fan.
Castle atop Skydancer Mountain.
Good to know. But then we got talking about our cartoons because Casey's favourite cartoon is, of course, SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yes.
And again, true to form, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah.
The narrative of what is going on in the cartoon is in the theme song. My favourite cartoon growing up was Voltron. And if you go, well, explain Voltron, well, he's quite clearly the defender of the universe. And you go, what does that mean? He goes, well, he defends the universe.
Yeah.
He's a giant robot made out of smaller robots, which just happen to be lions.
Yeah.
And they all come together. And then he goes and defends the universe. And then you find yourself realising you don't really know what Voltron is as a cartoon, so you listen to the theme song.
The legend of Voltron, defender of the universe. A mighty robot, loved by good, feared by evil.
There you go. He's a mighty robot, loved by good and feared by evil.
Yeah.
And it's a Tuesday. Voltron, what are you doing? I'm defending the universe.
There you go.
So I thought very quickly, 0428 899 899, could you let us know what your favourite cartoon was? And could you maybe quickly describe what it was about? Like, I used to watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but if I had to describe what's going on, they're turtles that stepped in ooze and then were raised by a giant rat.
I don't remember how they became mutants.
And they like to eat pizza. Is that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I guess so.
Yeah. Cool.
Can I give you my actual favourite?
She-Ra's not your favourite cartoon of all time?
I love She-Ra, but it's not my favourite, no.
What's your favourite?
From the 80s, I used to love Mysterious Cities of Gold.
Oh, okay. Remember.
Mysterious Cities of Gold.
Was the cartoon about the mysterious cities of gold?
Yes, and it was set in the 1500s. And
they
they were
cities
like
made out
trying to
of
find the
gold?
gold of the Incas.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Children of the sun, see your time has just begun. Searching for your ways through adventures every day.
Am I going to have to go through the next 7.5 minutes of this song?
All right. With all your friends in tow, you search for the cities of gold.
Just getting really into it.
Wishing for the cities of gold.
And now what was it about? Yep. No,
That's so good.
We get that bit. What was it about again?
Mysterious Cities of Gold. I had to search for it. Incan gold.
All right. So the whole episode was them going somewhere to try and find the mysterious city of
The
gold, but they
golden
never found it at the end of the episode?
They did.
Yeah, but at the end of every episode or just at the end of the show?
No, it was like a story that went
Yeah.
over.
So they
And
never found
someone had
it.
lost a father and they were trying to find something called the Golden
Sure.
Condor and I don't know.
Okay. There
Long
you
time
go.
ago.
Check it out.
Yeah, it's good. It's on YouTube, I think.
Probably. The other thing that was on YouTube that Casey started this conversation as well, that her dad was into, it was the wacky races we discovered.
Yeah.
So Muttley was the dog, who was the sidekick of a dastardly villain. And we got a bit of the audio from the Wacky Races to give Casey an understanding of what her dad used to get into. Because Wacky Races is hard to explain. It was basically
60s.
a car race,
Yeah.
and it was the same race every episode. And I think Muttley and the person he was aligned with never won because they were the bad guys. But here's the intro.
Sneaking along last is that mean machine with those double-dealing do-batters, Nick Dastardly and his sidekick, Muttley. And even now they're up to some dirty trick. and they're off.
They're off, and
So
Muttley
innocent.
tries.
TV was so innocent back then.
Muttley
now
tries-
kids would be like, what do you mean it's the same race every episode?
It's pretty much that. A lot of people weighing in 0428 899 899. Somebody, B actually, one of the greats, B says something along the lines of something called the Blue Monster.
No, My Pet Monster.
My Pet Monster.
Yeah, she goes, she loved it. It was a blue monster. Yes, I remember this, and I know it's wild that I remember this because I worked in a toy shop. My Pet Monster started as a plushie that went viral, and then they turned it into a TV show. And if you saw it, if you're in their 40s, you'll recognise it instantly. He's like a blue monster, like with pink fuzz, red hair, yellow eyes, really ugly. Always had chains around his wrists. That's the
cartoon,
that was really
guys.
popular as well.
That's the cartoon.
There wasn't many episodes of it.
Yeah,
It was
I can't
more.
find it.
It was only 13 episodes, and it was more just the toy was famous.
All right, and Nick's also texted through trying to defend the cartoons of the 50s and 60s.
He goes, the Warner Brother cartoons were just a series of events where one character led another to imminent death.
Well, when
Very
you think,
true.
When you think Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, that's pretty much every
I never
episode.
dug
the same.
that.
Yeah.
Kathy, who is a wee bit older than you and I, she loved something called Gigantor.
Gigantor.
The space robot. And she's just sent me a link, and I've looked at it, and it's like black and white.
That's how old
and
it
it's
is?
from was made in 1963, but it's super cute.
Right, if you had to explain
So
Gigantor,
cute. He's like a
is he gigantic?
yeah, and he's like a really gorgeous looking like robot.
Was he a defender of the universe
I
like
don't
Voltron?
I don't really quite know, but he's awesome. That
He
was
was
great.
awesome.
He's kind of reminds me of Metal Mickey or maybe Roger Ramjet,
Try
Banana
no.
Man.
Hey, Casey, if you're listening very carefully, Lucy's going to try and explain Metal Mickey to you.
Metal Mickey was a robot who lived in a house.
In the UK.
In the UK, big robot, and you have to give him power pills to give him energy. Metal Mickey, and then you'd give
Did
him
he clean the
power.
house?
Yeah, I think so. He's like their house robot, and then you give him a power pill, and that would make Metal Mickey go very fast. Then there was Banana Man, who was half man, half banana.
Okay.
Roger Ramjet, who came to save the day, and then there was
Actually, Casey's favourite cartoon, SpongeBob SquarePants, sounds pretty sensible compared to some of the stuff we were watching back
It's
in the day.
very true.
So it makes more sense. Thank you, everybody, for weighing in on that.
The Lucy and Kel podcast.
Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're sending human beings back into space, everybody.
Booster ignition and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond.
Nothing like a rocket launch. Got to say, as a guy, rocket launches are pretty much where we live. Oh, that power! As the shuttle rockets into orbit and takes human beings around the moon, Liz.
I'm excited because for the first time ever, heading around the moon, first woman to ever do it. So that's iconic.
Right on, ladies.
The first person of colour, amazing. The first Canadian, a boot a boot. That's also equally amazing for the
All right.
Canadians.
I think there's a tiered system.
There is.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. It's a very diverse crew, which is great. The mission commander is a single dad. Victor Glover is the first black astronaut to travel into deep space. We've got Christina, who is the first woman to go to the moon. And they're all taking something very special with them.
They all
This
get
is
to
what
take
I
one
loved.
thing, do they?
They all get to take a little bit of something.
Oh, it's a bit like Survivor.
Yeah, what's your one thing?
What's the one thing you want to take to camp?
So the commander, Reed Wiseman, he's taking with him a blank note card to jot down his thoughts as he goes around the moon.
He's taking a pen and paper.
Yes.
Okay.
But that'll become iconic and he'll sell that
It
for a lot
will,
of money.
actually.
Sell it for a lot of money.
You have a lot of time to think up there.
Yeah,
in
you'll
space.
love this. The pilot, Victor Glover, the first black man to travel into deep space. So amazing. I love it for him. He's amazing, iconic man. I've been reading about him. Love him. And guess what? Taking his Bible.
Oh, good for
Yes, yes, and yes. How good's that? Go, you good thing.
Space
He's the
Bible.
pilot. The mission specialist, Christina Cook, the first woman to go into deep space. Take that, Katy Perry. She's taking with her handwritten notes from her loved ones so that she can hold in her hands something they held in her hands. I love it. That's such a woman thing, right?
It's very sentimental.
And the mission specialist, the Canadian, Jeremy Hansen, he's taking with him 4 moon pendants he gave as gifts to his wife and kids. So I'm assuming what he's done is not just take them back and be like, I want them. I think he's gone, here are some pendants of moons. I'm going to take them to the moon and bring them back, and they're really moon pendants then. And then they can wear the pendants that have been into deep space.
Right. Space
I
necklaces.
I think that's why he's given it to them and then taken it back. Otherwise, he's a terrible gift giver. That's not how it works, Jeremy Hansen.
I just thought that was so beautiful, that list. I didn't even know about this until Kel mentioned it the other day, but the fact that there's so many groundbreaking people going for the first time is so exciting. They know that this is a risky mission because they're going on the dark side of the moon.
Which is around the back bit.
Yeah, but they're in preparation for another mission which will be heading off after them, which is where they're going to land again. I'm excited about this, but I was super excited about them getting to take a little something. I'm really glad we didn't read the list and like Commander Reed's taking a Labubu. That would be terrible, right? But like again, if you could just hung a little Labubu in the rocket ship on the dash, that'd be fun, right?
Just swinging away.
Swinging away. What would you take? You're going up to space. You're leaving me.
Can I take you?
You're the first bald man in space.
I'm not allowed to take you?
You're not the first white man in space because it literally was just one American military man. But you can't take me.
They're not their fault. They just happen to be the astronauts.
I understand,
at the
but
time.
don't defend them. What would you take?
Well, if I can't take you, can I take one of the dogs?
No. Actually, which one? Yeah, you can take one. It gives me a break.
No, they're probably, I don't know, there's quarantine stuff. You probably can't take the dog
You could
up.
take a monkey to space.
Dogs have already been to space.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
and they die. They don't ever come back.
I would possibly, could I take Pink Floyd's The Dark Side of the Moon on CD or cassette tape and play it as we orbit behind the dark side of the moon?
How are you going to play it?
That's pretty iconic,
How are
I
you
would
going
have
to
thought.
play it?
I'm sure if they've got the technology
They
to send
they don't have a cassette player in the shuttle.
Sure, they got an MP3 player or something.
You'd have to say
surely.
you're going to take an iPod with it on.
Well, that's just a bit of fun. I just thought, why wouldn't you be the first person to play the album Dark Side of the Moon as you go around the dark side of the moon? I just think that's...
Well, how about Frank Sinatra, Fly Me to the Moon?
Fly Me to the Moon. Perfect.
Moon. Yeah, that's better.
Savage Garden, To the Moon and Back.
Oh, really? We're going to do this,
Could do this all day.
Blue Moon, I saw you standing alone.
That's not bad. Not
Anyway,
bad at all.
you're going to take music. Okay, excellent.
Or a photo of you. There you go. Just stare at it. As all the majesty of space and the dark side of the moon, I won't look at any of that. I'll just stare at the photo of Lucy.
Yeah.
They'll be like, did you enjoy the moon? I said, didn't see it. Just staring at a photo of Lucy.
I would take.
You don't seem to be as impacted by that
I'm
romantic
really not, because I
gesture.
just feel like it's just lip service.
Okay.
I'm going to take a Polaroid camera with 100 of those little tiny Polaroids. When I'm circling the moon, I'm going to take lots of photos on the Polaroid. They're one-off photos. They're not digital, so they can't be mass reproduced. With those 100 photos, when I get back to Earth, I'm going to sell each photo for $10,000. I'm going to make 10,000 times 100.
All right, so this is a side hustle for you.
This is a side hustle, guys. We just did the math.
You have to actually ask the question, though, because are you talking about the ones where you take a photo and it spits out the front of the camera?
Yeah.
That is a chemical reaction, and I'm not sure, do Polaroid photographs work in space? Like, they may not even develop in space.
They do. I'm just saying they do. Listen.
I'm very confident they absolutely work in space.
You get to buy one of 100 images. Each one is $1,000. Very affordable. I'm going to turn over $100,000 with my space photos. You're welcome. And that'll auction off the actual Polaroid camera itself, probably get another $5,000. So that is what I'm taking. Am I a hustler?
Yeah.
Yeah. But like if you go to the moon.
Leaving a bit of a bad taste in everybody's mouth, I think, at the moment.
No, I think that's great. I think I'm up.
You making lots of money.
Casey just gave me thumbs up. She thinks it's brilliant. You're like, I'll take a photo of Lucy. You just lost $100,000, buddy.
Okay. I don't know if that's the focus of the mission, is for you to make as much money.
You focus on your lunar
All
mission.
right.
I will focus on my lunar mission.
Should we ask the Light family?
What are you taking to space? B said she'd take the light with her because she can't live without it.
How big's the transmitter?
Yeah, I don't think you could be.
You never know. We might be able to get up
No,
there.
we don't. We don't even broadcast to Sunbury. We're certainly not broadcasting to the
That's a bit hard.
backside of the moon.
Sorry, Sunbury.
No, we do
We're
broadcast to
trying our
Sunbury.
best.
I mean, we can't even get to the backside of Gippsland, let alone the backside of the moon. So sorry, B, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You'd have to download old shows. You could take the Lucy and Kel podcast. Great time to listen to it. 10 days straight, binge it. 200 episodes. Excellent. Tim sent a message. Listen to this. Tim said, guys, you can submit your name to NASA. They'll take the SD card to space. Your name will be on the dark side of the moon. I lost my mind. And I said to Tim, are you serious? And he replied, yeah, and you even get a certificate/boarding pass. So I literally broke my ankle running to the website, clicked on it, was so excited. I was like, I'm going to write Kel's name on the SD card. And then I'm going to say to Kel, your name's going into space. And as I click on it, guess what? They just shut it down. I missed it. I missed it like by a few hours. Your name's not going to space.
That's okay. It's okay.
I'm not okay. Really sad.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. We've got a message here from Debbie. This is interesting. She goes, I'd write my own story, like a sacred text, and then let it disappear into history, then hundreds of years later it would be rediscovered and people would not know where it comes from.
All right.
Oh.
Like write some sort of special message just
From
to
Holly.
yourself and then send it into orbit.
What do you do? Do you mean eject it out of space?
Yeah, out into deep space for somebody else to find.
Nick
halfway
said,
across the galaxy.
Nick said, I'll take a Melway just in case the Wi-Fi went down. Again, I don't know if Melway has the moon. Tanya goes, I'll take an endless supply of movie popcorn. Well, you only need 10 days supply, Tanya. I'd sit in front of the windows and just watch the spectacular show. And for when we encounter aliens, even aliens need to taste popcorn, she
Don't
says.
know if all the technical equipment can deal with just like floating popcorn stuck in all the circuitry. That's all.
Yeah, and if you have a coughing fit,
You got greasy fingers all over the dials.
that's not fun. But also, I do like that as well. David says, Kel, the launch is 9:35 a.m. tomorrow our time.
There we go. To be
We'll
real-
be on air.
I
We
know.
can count it down.
I was going to say that was addressed to me, but to be fair, I think Lucy's giving more excited energy about this than I am. You have overtaken me with excited energy about this rocket launch, which I enjoy.
Yeah, I'm excited because I like space stuff, guys. I like space stuff. Okay, we've got a message from. In fact, we've got her on the phone.
Yep.
Amanda in Launching Place. Hello, Amanda.
Morning, how you going?
All right.
Launching Place, rocket launching place.
Am I right?
Am I right?
Space Commander Amanda, you're going into space. You can only take one thing. What is it?
Amanda.
I'm taking a Paddington bear with his own mini camera so then I can document his story in photos and write my own children's book when I get back.
I was
And
a little-
make $1 million
Yeah,
to my
again.
$100,000.
Again.
I do feel like you
I don't-
piggybacked on my photo
No,
idea,
look,
but
I-
she's up the ante and
I
I
was
get
a little
it.
confused at the start, but I do understand that theme of taking some sort of mascot up into space and it telling the story of the journey. I like that, Amanda. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
And
She's-
Paddington
are you a
would
bit
be
of
very...
a? Are you thinking of dollar signs as well, Amanda?
Well, there's a combination of, children are my passion, so,
That's right. She's
Okay,
thinking,
she's
what about
doing it
the
to
children?
be benevolent. I'm like, let's make a buck.
Children of the future. Also, much like the popcorn,
Yeah.
and I might be wrong here, was Paddington all about the jam sandwiches?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to get stuck
They always
everywhere
took a
as
jam
well.
sandwich.
No, they'll get stuck everywhere. The
There you
jam
go.
will get
That's
in
great,
there.
guys. Keep them coming through. Very nice.
We're going to turn it into how would you make money off the space launch? That's what
How
Lucy,
would you make money?
Lucy wants to know.
The Lucy and Kel podcast.
And dare I say, at the end of another successful podcast, well done everybody involved, including the Lucy
Thank you very much.
and the Casey.
Thank you, Cal.
As we get ready to wrap up the podcast for this Wednesday, the day of foolery that is all over by now. If anyone's
done.
going to try and fool you this afternoon, as Lucy suggests, just point at them and go, "Ha ha! You are the fool."
You are the fool. I rebuke your tomfoolery.
Rebuke the tomfoolery.
Yeah.
Tomorrow on the podcast, will Lucy be wearing bunny ears?
I hope so.
She hopes so. When you say you hope so,
You have to.
what is that? Is that a
I'll be
call out
honest.
to the universe
Yeah, I
hoping
know.
that somebody
Yeah,
else will provide the bunny ears for you?
No, I hope to remember when I'm at home to get them.
Wait, have we already got bunny ears at home?
I've got 4 boxes of Easter decorations. There'll be Easter decorations in there.
Will you be wearing leopard print, or would you go so far as to have like a white fluffy sort of jacket that you might own? Do you own a white fluffy jacket?
You do. But the ears that I have are brown. They're Peter Cottontail ears.
Oh, that's a shame.
The cute ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, the brown bunnies
Yeah,
are cute.
brown bunnies are cute.
I was thinking
girl.
of like a
You
white
get 'em.
hair.
No,
Right.
brown bunnies have got it going on.
And on
Yeah.
that bombshell, it's time to wrap up the podcast. And until we meet again, everyone, for our final podcast of the week before the Easter long weekend,
I rebuke your tomfoolery.
Well, that's all for now. But you can download more podcasts anytime or catch Lucy and Kel live weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on 89.9 The Light.
This is the end bit. This is the end bit.
Woo!
This is the end bit
Yeah.
of the show.
And bit.